All right. This video is just made for Elizade University students. It's just a video presentation of past question and answers, and the students in 100 level will find it very, very useful. But this presentation is basically limited to all students, but it's just GSC, offering GSC courses, all the GSC courses, the 4 semester GSC courses, which include GSC 101, that is use of English, GSC 103, that is the use of information and literacy, and GSC 105, which is citizenship and leadership education. And the three of them, we are going to look at it briefly now. But this video is divided into two parts. Part one, which is all about the objective aspects of the past question with their answers, and part two, which is all about the theoretical aspects of all these past questions and answers. So let's begin. And apart from this, also this video have other parts for, and that one is just the students of history and diplomatic studies will find it very, very useful as well. So let's kick off. The first one is GSC 101, which is communication in English 1. Communication in English 1. And if the question said, write all your answers in these booklets provided, answer all questions in section A, and we are just going to deal with section A. And this section A has a comprehension passage, so you can just Google it. Pulp friction, that's the title of the comprehension passage. Pulp friction, P-U-L-P, P-U-L-O-P, pulp friction. And you'll find it on Google, or if you want to get the past question itself, you can meet me. I am your friend and your helper. I am always here to make sure that you make it in this university. I am Ezeji Daniel Onyekachi, studying history and diplomatic studies under the Department of History and Languages. So let's start with the comprehension passage. Because of our time, I'm not going to read the comprehension passage, but it's just talking about marijuana, about wood, using wood to make paper, and the rest of these stuffs. So you just Google it, then you can follow me along as we answer the question. Okay, let me read the passage. It said, every second 1 hectare of world's rainforest is destroyed. That's equivalent to 2 football fields. An area the size of New York City is lost every day. In a year, that adds up to 31 million hectares, more than the land area of Poland. This alarming rate of destruction has serious consequences for the environment. Scientists estimate, for example, that for example, that 137 species of plants, insects, or animals become extinct every day due to logging. Wow. 137 species of plants, insects, or animals become extinct every day due to logging. And in British Columbia, where since 1990, 13 rainforest valleys have been clear cut. Wow. And 142 species of salmon have already become extinct. And the habitats of grizzly bears, wolves, and many other creatures are threatened. Logging, however, provides jobs, profits, taxes for the government, and cheap products of all kinds for consumers. So the government is reluctant to restrict or control it. Okay. Much of Canada's forest production goes toward making pulp and paper. According to Canadian Pulp and Paper Association, Canada supplies 34% of world's wood pulp and 49% of its newsprint paper. If these paper products could be produced in some other way, Canadian forests could be preserved. Recently, a possible alternative way of producing paper have been suggested by agriculturalists and environmentalists, a plant called hemp. And this hemp have been cultivated by many cultures for thousands of years. This hemp also produces fiber which can be made into paper. Do you know that fiber can be made into paper? Fuel, oils, textiles, food, and rope. Wow, these hemp plants. Wow, you can produce paper, fuel, oils, textiles, food, and rope from it. For centuries, it was essential to the economies of many countries because it was used to make the ropes and cables used on sailing ships. Colonial expansion and the establishment of a worldwide trading network. Wow, the passage is a long one and would not have been feasible without him. Nowadays, ships cables are usually made from wire or synthetic fibers, but scientists are now suggesting that the cultivation of hemp should be revived for the production of paper and pulp. According to its proponents, four times as much paper can be produced from land using hemp rather than trees, and many environmentalists believe that the large scale cultivation of hemp could reduce the pressure on Canada's forests. However, there is a problem. Hemp is illegal in many countries of the world. Wow, this good hemp, we can produce food, textiles, ropes, fuels, fibers. Wow, this hemp also is illegal in many countries of the world. This plant, so useful for hemp, for fiber, rope, oil, fuel, and textiles, is a species of cannabis related to the plants from which marijuana is produced. In the late 1930s, a movement to ban the drug marijuana began to gather force, resulting in the eventual banning of the cultivation not only of the plants used to produce the drug, but also of the commercial fiber producing hemp plants. Oh, although both George Washington and Thomas Jefferson grew hemp in large quantities on their own land, any American growing the plants today would soon find himself in prison. Despite the fact that cannot be produced from the hemp plant since contains almost no THC, the active ingredient in the drug. Finally, in recent years, two major movements for legalization have been gathering strength. One group of activists believe that all cannabis should be legal, both the hemp plants and the marijuana plants, and that the use of the drug marijuana any offensive, should not be an offense. They argue that marijuana is not dangerous or addictive and that it is used by large numbers of people who are not criminals but productive members of the society. They were arguing, they said they don't why should it be banned? Look at this, how useful it is. But they also point out that marijuana is less toxic than alcohol or tobacco. The other legalization movement is concerned only with the hemp plants used to produce fiber. This group wants to make it legal to cultivate the plant and sell the fiber for paper and pulp production. This second group had a major triumph recently in 1997. Canada legalized the farming of hemp for fiber. For the first time since 1938, hundreds of farmers are planting this crop, and soon we can expect to see pulp and paper produced from this new source. Now, this is all about the comprehension itself. It's time to answer the questions. Question number one: how many species of salmon have become extinct in British Columbia? Um, If you have the material there with you, I'll give you some seconds to try to answer the question. How many species of salmon have become extinct in British Columbia? Is it 27? Is it 31? Is it 137? Is it 142? Okay, in British Columbia, 142 species of salmon have already become extinct. You can find that in paragraph 1, the first paragraph. The first paragraph, the sixth line, rather. Question number 2. How much of the world's newsprint paper is supplied by Canada? How much of the world's newsprint paper is supplied by Canada? Is it 31% or 49% or 34% or 19%? Canada supplies 34% of newsprint paper. What's newsprint paper? Question number 3. What equipment on a ship was made from hemp? What equipment on ship was made from hemp? Is it ropes? Is it waterproof cloths? Is it engine fuel? Is it life rafts? The answer is ropes. You also can find that the second question, you can find the answer in paragraph 2. This third question, you'll find the answer in third paragraph. Question number 4. What drug can be obtained from a relative of hemp? What drug can be obtained from the relative of hemp? What drug can we obtain from the relative of hemp? Is it cocaine? Is it heroin? Is it amphetamine or marijuana? The answer is D, marijuana. Or you can find that in the fourth paragraph. Number 5. Where was hemp farming recently legalized? Where was hemp farming recently legalized? Is it in USA? Is it in Canada? Is it in Singapore? Is it in Netherlands? Or you can find that in the last paragraph, in Canada. Answer, Canada. Question number 6. How long does it take for 100 hectares of rainforest to be destroyed? How long does it take for 100 hectares of rainforest to be destroyed? This one requires a little mathematics. You can find it in first paragraph. The question, the answers less than 2 minutes, or is it about an hour, or is it 2 hours, or a day? If you look at the first paragraph, you need to solve a little bit mathematics. It says every second 1 hectare of world's rainforest is destroyed. That's equivalent of 2 football fields. Every second 1 hectare of world's rainforest is destroyed. Just think about every second 1 hectare will be destroyed. 1 second 1 hectare, 1 second 1 hectare destroyed. Then how long does it take for 100 hectares to be destroyed? That means since 1 hectare will be destroyed in 1 second, that means 100 hectares will be destroyed in how many seconds? 100 seconds. So the answer is less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes. 100 hectares of rainforest are destroyed in less than 2 minutes. Question number 7. Who is suggesting that pulp and paper could be produced without cutting down trees? Who is suggesting that pulp and paper could be produced without cutting down trees? Is it the logging industry? Is it the government? Is it the environmental lobby or drug manufacturers? Look at your question, look at the material. If you have gotten it, you'll discover that the answer is the environmental lobby. Question number 8. Why was the plant hemp essential to worldwide trade in the past? Why was the plant hemp essential to the worldwide trade in the past? The first option there is sheep robes were made from it. Or why was it essential in the past? Is it because sheep robes were made from it? Or hemp was a very profitable export? Or hemp was used as fuel for ships? Or hemp was used as food for sailors. Why was the plant hemp essential to worldwide trade in the past? Look at your question material very well, very carefully. You will discover in the third paragraph, it said hemp has been cultivated by many cultures for thousands of years. It produces fiber which can be made into paper, fuel, oil, textiles, food, and rope. For centuries, it was essential to the economies of many countries because it was used to make the ropes and cables used in sailing ships. The ropes and cables also used in colonial expansion and the establishment of a worldwide trading network. So we can say that the answer is the plant hemp was essential in worldwide trade in the past because ship ropes were made from it. Ship ropes were made from it. That sounds funny. Since hemp was also used in making fuel, why is it rope that should be the most important thing about this hemp? But that's the answer. Question number 9. When was hemp production banned in Canada? When was hemp production banned in Canada? American we say banned. Banned in Canada. Is it in 1930 or in 1960 or in 1996 or in 1938? You have to be very careful before you answer this question. Okay. If you look at the last paragraph, the very last sentence, the two sentences, you will see that it is stated that for the first time since 1938, hundreds of farmers are planting this crop, and soon we can expect to see pulp and paper produced from this new course. Now, for the first time since 1938, that means for the first time after it have been banned for since 1938. People now say after that it was then legalized. So we can discover that the answer is 1938. All right. All right. Since 1938, although the movement of banning it started in 1930, it started in 1930, but it was banned in 1938. Now, question number 10. Why was hemp banned? Why was hemp banned? Now, is it because it is related to marijuana plants, or it can be used to produce marijuana, or it was no longer a useful crop, or it was destructive to the land? Why was it banned? Look at your paragraph 4. You will discover the reason why it is banned. It said this plant is related to the plant from which marijuana is produced. So we can say it can be used to produce marijuana. That's why it was banned. Question number 11. Some activists believe that both marijuana and hemp should be legal. This statement is true, false, neither true nor false. The passage does not say. Some activists believe that both marijuana and hemp should be legal. Is this statement true, or is it false, or is it neither true nor false? Or they said it's not, the paragraph did not say anything about it. Which one? We can discover that from paragraph um yes, in paragraph the very the paragraph 4, we can discover that some activists believe that both marijuana and hemp should be made legal because it is true, the statement is true. Let me quickly find it. The statement is very much true, and you can find it in the okay. Yes, in the fourth paragraph, in the fourth paragraph, some activists say that they want they want it to be made legal. Now, question number 11, 12. Question number 12. Every second, 1 hectare of the world's rainforest is destroyed. Every second, 1 hectare of the world's rainforest is destroyed. This that's equivalent to 2 football fields. What does equivalent mean? That's the question. What does equivalent mean? Is it more than, or less than, or the same as, or not comparable to? What does equivalent mean? Equivalent means the same as. Question number 13. In British Columbia, where since 1990 13 rainforest valleys have been clear-cut, 142 species of salmon have already become extinct. Now the question is, what does clear-cut mean? What does clear-cut mean? You know that. Does clear-cut mean? Does it mean a few trees have been cut down, or the cut trees are clearly seen, or many trees have been cut down, or all the trees have been cut down? What does clear cut means? We can say, oh, clear cut means, wow, you have grazed everything, nothing is there anymore. That is, all the trees have been cut down. Clear cut. Question number 14. Logging, however, provides jobs, profits, taxes for the government, and cheap products of all kinds for consumers. Logging, however, provides jobs, profits, taxes for the government, and cheap products of all kinds for consumers. So, the government is reluctant to restrict or control it. What does reluctant mean? Is reluctant to? That's the question. What does is reluctant to, quote and unquote, is reluctant to? What does it mean? Is it doesn't want to? The government doesn't want to, or is not allowed to, or would like to, or is being forced to? What does is reluctant to mean? We can say is reluctant to means you are not willing to do something. That means it doesn't want to. You don't want to do it, but because it's your friend, it's forcing you, please do this, please do that, and you will do it. So you are reluctant means you don't want to do something. And if you don't want to do something, you see yourself, you'll be hesitating. Maybe you'll be hesitating before you do it. The last question, I know it have been bored, you have been bored by this, but there's no problem. Just take it. I, it will help you somehow. According to its proponents, 4 times as much paper can be produced from land using hemp rather than trees. According to its proponents, 4 times as much paper can be produced from land using hemp rather than trees. What does proponents mean? Proponents, what does it mean? Is it people who are against something, or people who are the indifferent to something? People who are indifferent, people who are indifferent to something. What does proponents mean? Does it mean people who support something? Proponent, does it mean people in charge of something? Um, Not to take much of your time, proponent means people who support something. People who support something. Like in debate, you hear some people say, my opponent. That is someone that is against something. But proponents is someone that supports something. So this is section A of GST 101, the use of English, like we normally call it, use of English, but actually the course title is Communication in English 1. Communication in English 1. And this is General Studies Units. The faculty is General Studies Units. Department is General Studies Units. This is the first semester examination 2012-2013 academic season. Once again, I am Ezeji Daniel Onyekachi, studying history and diplomatic studies in the Department of History and Languages. So, like I said, this video is divided into, initially I say 2 parts, but it's not going to be 2 parts anymore, um, because this one we are just watching is just GSC 101, the use of English, the communication in English 1. Next video, part 2, still objective questions. We are dealing with objective questions. This is series 1, part 1. The next series 1, part 2 will be on GSC 103, information and literacy. GSC 103, information and literacy. We usually call it use of library, but it's information and literacy. And we are just going to look at the objectives first in the series 1, part 2. And in the series 1, part 3, we are going to look at GSC 105. And GSC 105 is citizenship and leadership education. Citizenship and leadership education. So, uh, I wish you a happy and a successful stay in this great university. Thank you for being there for me, because without you, I wouldn't be here. You have made my day, and I hope I've made your day also. Thank you very much for watching.